Let me take you on a journey through some inner city tales so you can see how our society fails.
All the people shopping at the mall, going to purchase something big or small. Do you really know about our life, living where drugs and vice are rife? Let me open your eyes to the life we live. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to give.
I'm Lawrence Hu, I'm 37 years old, and I grew up in the community of Easton in Bristol. And I'm about to take you on a journey from Easton across the M32 to St Paul's so that you can witness the things that we witness and children witness on a daily basis.
Prostitute, you get me? Yeah, I'm just working for my money.
Are you?
Yeah. You smoke drugs like the rest of them girls, you get me?
So how long you been working here?
Huh?
How long you been working here?
2 years.
2 years?
2 years.
What, outside the school?
No, not outside the school. If kids come out, I move on, you get me?
Yeah?
I don't do it in front of the kids.
Okay. School fence. How can it be right? How can it make sense for prostitutes to be outside the school fence? Instead of removing them from the street, they put up warning signs for them to meet their punters who pull up daily while they're standing on the corner plainly in view for our children to see while at school or in the nursery. Why don't the school call the police? You'd think if they did, it would surely cease. But they are there day after day. The question I ask is, how is it this way?
What was that? I just went in the shop. Was that a prostitute?
Yeah, that's a prostitute. Yeah. Get a man behind as well. Get a man over the shoulders behind us. See it?
And together. See what this guy is saying.
You know you're breaking the fucking law.
What law are we
Taking a
breaking?
photograph is against the publicity,
No, it's
right?
not. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Right, I'll call the police.
Call 'em.
Right,
Call 'em.
I will, because you're not taking my photograph
Right.
for the
It's not a
public.
photograph, it's
Go
film.
and call them.
Yeah, I will.
Wait, I'm waiting there.
Right. We'll get the phone.
Keep filming up there. He picks her up and drops her off. I've got him picking her up and dropping her off. See it? Alright?
Do you know Trinity Road's police number?
Dial 999, they put you straight
No,
through. They put you
that's
straight through to
emergency.
Portishead.
That's emergency.
It's an emergency, isn't it?
No, it's not an emergency. But what's the game then? Taking video?
What am I doing filming here?
Filming
I'll tell
the
you.
game.
I'm filming prostitutes working outside our school in our community where we live, right? This is our school, our church, our health centre that those two prostitutes are stood outside right now by the bus, right? And that's what I'm filming, because our children are suffering this every single day and it's disgusting.
Okay, do you use any drugs at all?
I have done, yeah.
What kind of?
All sorts. I tried everything in my life.
Name one.
Name one. I have used heroin, crack cocaine. I've used Palfium. I've used acid. You know, I've used amphetamine sulfate. I don't think there's not one that I haven't tried or used.
The children witness prostitution and associated crime outside their school on a daily basis. The places where the children should be able to play are littered with condoms and needles, exposing the children to many risks that shouldn't be part of their young lives. Do you know what they're doing?
They're selling themselves for sex to buy drugs.
Yeah, and what do you think about that?
Disgusted.
How do you think about it being around where you live and right outside your school?
There's just too many of them. And just 2 doors away from my house, in the corner, they left a drug needle there, and there was about 2-3 condoms in front of our house.
What do you think about the police and what they do about it?
They do nothing about it. It looks like.
Okay.
Nothing much.
And where do you live?
In Easton.
Okay, just by the school.
Yeah.
Okay, then. And this is by the school where a taxi driver was stabbed last year. Do you remember that?
Yeah. It was when we was in school and we heard it.
So you were actually in school when you heard about that?
Yeah.
And did anybody come to the school to talk to you about what had happened, the murder outside your school?
Not any police, but the teacher was just speaking about it.
Okay, but the police never came and spoke to you about it?
No.
The man that murdered Colin Winstone, it was reported that he was a resident of St Paul's, when actually he was a resident who had absconded from the Bayer Hostel, which is based in St Paul's. St Paul's is the neighbouring community to Easton. We are now heading over to St Paul's from Easton, to where all the problems that are currently outside the school used to be. My English the right way around. So where I'm going to take you to now is to show you one of the hostels in St Paul's. Right, this here is Bristol Road approved premises, which is a Bayer hostel. Housed in St Paul's, which is directly next to a nursery, and the back of the building actually overlooks a nursery. And in this hostel in St Paul's, Bristol Road approved premises, they actually house paedophiles and Section 1 high-risk sex offenders. Temptation. I don't know how this can be right. I don't know how the people who allow it sleep at night. Where we live in our community, they house paedophiles next to a nursery. I know it sounds too insane to be true. Could you imagine it happening near you? The children pass them unaware every day, on the way to school, nursery, or out to play. Who is responsible? Who makes the rules? Are they insane or are they fools? For what is this crazy game they're playing? One mistake and our children will be paying. How can they put temptation so close, directly beneath a paedophile's nose? Who's holding a petition? Out there. set up on the lights on the four corners. I started to write poetry and take pictures to record the scenes that I saw on a regular basis. And while carrying out research into facts around St Paul's, I found out that St Paul's had more hostels, drug rehabilitation units and associated agencies than any other community in Bristol. And what struck me really odd with this was that as St Paul's has a reputation for being the drug supermarket for the southwest of England, why is this the community where you'd house people who are trying to rehabilitate from drug use? Right here is the Kango building. What a Kango building used to be was a needle squat. And what that was, it was a squat where a lot of heroin users used to use this building to inject heroin. Before this building used to be completely open, these gates would be completely open. The police said that they'd actually sealed the building, but they'd only sealed it from the front, from the main street, but kept this exit always open. And this encouraged and kept drug users within the community of St Paul's because they had somewhere locally where they were able to inject it and administer their drug.
What are you doing, man? What are you fucking doing at me?
Why do you want to keep everyone in here? Why does anyone people to catch
You know what the mad thing is? Drugs nowadays
Why?
is so fucking shit.
And what's as I said, you've got us all in this little spot. Because you've got the cameras all watching us from that coming from there, the one we're out there and everything. If they really wanted to sort out the homeless people, they could do. They've got to keep us in this place. You know what I mean? When they close this place, what's going to happen?
I came to St Paul's, to Bristol, for drugs, originally from Cardiff. Well, I went to Swansea, Newport, and I come to Bristol eventually. And that's why I came here, for the drugs. She lost her leg, from banging up on the groin and that. Do you know what I mean? If I could start taking drugs tomorrow,
You're right. Hey, you're right about what's saying now. They're using this, regeneration. They're using this to keep the place down. And there's someone in the council who's making money. There's someone who's got to check the accounts because you follow the money, you will find out who is going to gain.
See the building coming up right in front, just around the corner, St Paul's Day Nursery. And within 50 yards is where this is allowed to go on.
Around the back with needles and that, round there.
Do you feel safe at night living
No,
here?
I don't. Bloody hell, I've been here 24 years and I've never come up against what I'm witnessing now.
They put the needles all by where you live and everything?
All in the gardens. The gardener came yesterday and he went round to Bristol churches and said he refused to come and do the gardens there because there was too many needles there. I can't move at 84.
No, you can't.
And that, but to see all this junk outside, it's shameful. I'm ashamed for my friends to come. You know, it used to be lovely.
It did.
Lovely. But not now. And they don't care much round there.
No, with the churches?
No, they're useless, my love.
Okay, well you take care. We're going to try and do something about this building here anyway.
I'll see you then. Thank you for your help, dear.
That's okay, you take care.
Yeah.
The old people's home is now closed down and the old people have been moved out. Both the old people's home and the nursery are soon to be demolished as part of the regeneration of St Paul's. Due to the lack of protection from the authorities and from the police, I say many people in St Paul's started to move out because of how the community was, and as they moved out, squatters moved in. And as you can see here, this building here was all owned by Bristol Churches Housing Association, and they just let the property run down until it's in its present state you see it today. Lightstone and Bristol Churches Housing Associations knowingly allowed squatters in Some were junkies, careless and destructive. And because of this, even more residents were driven away.
That's what I do today.
Squatters' mansions. Squatters contact Knightstone Housing Association to make sure it's okay. Then they break into one of their properties, make it a new place to stay. They live there for free, taking drugs, making noise and getting high. But Knightstone do nothing to move them, and we wonder why. So I asked Knightstone, and they say some squatters are good, but they are stopping people from being housed in our neighbourhood. The authorities use ASBOs to evict tenants who they want to relocate, but allow squatters to stay in our community and make it a state. Other tenants they offer money to leave and a new home, so they can clear us from their regeneration zone. The authorities say people's rent or council tax hasn't been paid, but this could be because their applications have been delayed. Delayed for a system that isn't able to cope, but if they're not processed quick enough, they have no hope. No hope to stay in the community where they have grown. No hope of any mercy being shown. How can it be right for them to collude like this, stopping properties from being available to people on the housing list? Okay. We'll stop. Properties in St Paul's are now being bought up by property developers who have been buying up the properties, run-down properties cheap, and then turning around and converting them. And this is all part of the gentrification that is going on in St Paul's at the moment, which is resulting in property prices going up, rents increasing, which is resulting also in local people not being able to rent or purchase properties in the community where they've grown up. Expansion. Now the authorities start to use the full power of the law to stop undesirables from coming into St Paul's anymore. Cameras are installed to monitor people as they walk along the street, making it harder now for the junkies and dealers to meet. The junkies now get stopped, searched and generally given grief to make sure that their visit is now brief. They start to move on the curb crawlers that circle our borders because prostitution must be moved are the new orders. They start to move all people from the places that were used for dealing. Combined with the above, you can see the community healing. It is so different from a few years ago when you could have been knocked down by their continuous flow. I wonder and I think, what could have started this? What does it mean? Then I remember the Broadmead expansion scheme. The £500 million investment seems responsible for the change. For that reason alone, our problems have come within their range. They don't want the problems that we have had to deal with to become theirs. That's why the area is being cleaned up and it seems like everyone cares. But what about the years or the years before when no one cared for our community? It was just looked down on as poor. Why were we not given the same protection? Then it was like they're all looking in a different direction.
Right, now the girls just come off of Portland Square because they was pushed out because of the offices. The offices complained, right? And then the council, because they were threatened to move, right? Threatened to move, the council was going to lose a lot of money because of counter tax.
St Paul's is a community in Bristol which has changed a lot over the last 5 to 6 years, mainly due to the difference in policing practices in the community, where before they used to allow drug users and prostitutes just to come into the community and loiter. Over the last few years, the police practices have totally changed and they now stop all the drug users who come into St Paul's. They start searching them where they never used to search them before. The criminal activity has now moved from St Paul's across the M32 to Easton. So it's like everything's just slowly shifted from one place to another, and now Easton is the community where these things are able to happen. M32. They say the situation has improved, when really the problem has just been moved. Moved across the M32 to a new destination, making Easton the new ghetto in creation. For all the problems that used to be here, we'll soon have Easton gripped in fear. Who makes the decisions that are playing with our lives? They say they're trying to help, but the truth is they're full of lies. From they allow prostitutes to work outside of our schools, they can't care for our children. They're treating us like fools. And how many people do you reckon, like, punters use along here every day?
3-4 hours.
Yeah.
That could be like 30-40 punters that drive past.
Okay, is that regular?
Yeah.
So, like every day?
Yeah, some of them, yeah. Most of them, yeah.
Okay, and it's always outside the school.
It is, yeah. Which is wrong, like, you know, but the police stop, they say move on.
Yeah.
You know, and if the girl moves on, like myself,
yeah.
You know, move on.
And what would you do? What would you do when you move on? Where would you go? Move to the next?
Well, so I was down there and they said move on.
Yeah.
I come to here.
Yeah.
You know, then they just drive round and like think of something better to do.
Okay.
Other times they're like just 1 or 2 out here.
So as someone working, do you think that the police are doing enough to clear the girls from outside the school?
No.
Shame. Look, officer, at what our children are going through. Can you imagine the pain? Oh yes, I can. It really is a shame. A shame, officer? These children go to school surrounded by women on the game. Oh, come on now, you're preaching, or is it me you're trying to blame? No, I know it's not your fault. You're just following orders, not to protect the children from within these borders. Well, we have our priorities, and robbery and theft come before your school. But isn't the theft of a child's innocence the crime most cruel? Now look, stop playing with my words. We're doing our best. Oh, come on now, officer. Give it a rest. Answer me this. Where do you live? Do you live near? Oh no, I live in Porter's Head. And let me make one thing clear. We don't have many police patrolling our beat. But do you have prostitutes soliciting where your children meet? No. Oh. What do you say, Brett? Why? That is just insane, mate. I'm sat out here right now. Right? I said I'm sat out here right now watching a whore work directly opposite a police car. I'm outside the school. Listen, the police are parked doing road checks right opposite the prostitute working. Right opposite. What do you mean I'm sat here right now thinking what the is going on? I'm in my car, I'm sat right in their face. I'm sat right here, I'm recording the police in the morning. And so, how much debris is here? Needles, condoms?
Well, you could say you'll get at least 4 or 5 needles a week, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, condoms every day, you know, you get some.
So do they actually actually carry out their business within this car park?
Within the car park, yeah, sometimes.
Okay. And how does that make you feel as in the old people's home? Do you feel safe where you live?
Well, I come down one day, I mean, I'm afraid to say this really, but there was a girl there, the chap stood under the porchway there, and he was giving her she was giving him a blowjob.
It's not right, is it?
No, I mean, you come out here and you don't expect this.
And what's happened, how do you feel that the authorities, how are they protecting you or protecting this road?
But they're not.
They can take this away from you, man. They don't need to see this
They
here.
need to get it away from you.
It's been up here for years, man. It's a long time they're supposed to do something about it. Well, all down on Seymour Road, they got there's needles and all sorts, blood. People just leaving all their fixes and everything, all about.
So you're local to Easton, isn't it?
Yeah, man, I mean.
So a little bit on the camera, what's on Seymour Road?
Well, it's just pure needles, drugs, prostitution. It's terrible.
And it never used to be like that here, did it?
People can't live there, man. No, it used to be lovely here, man.
See? Unite. So many things are not right. What we need to do is unite. We have to come together to win this fight. combining all our powers, strength and might. What can we do in a small group? See, that was their greatest coup. Separating, segregating and dividing us all, then telling us that our problems are small. Don't you see that many of our problems are common? What we need to do is stop looking at each other as foreign, for we are all one family. Don't let them create our destiny. The time has come for us to rise, question them and expose their lies. Easton now has prostitution outside its local schools, drugs around its local schools, but that drug users are allowed to come and loiter in the community. And I believe that this is a deliberate policy by the council and the police to confine all these problems into one community for the safety of the other communities within Bristol. I said, but my concern is, by sacrificing a community and making sure that this is the place where all these problems are concentrated, is the effect it has on the children growing up who witness these things.